Hi ladies, Claire back again with my second Let's Make series, and I'm going to show you how I made my large wallet Christmas album that's on my channel. To make the box I followed my tutorial and I've made an album out of black card. That's 190 gram weight card, and then I've rounded the corners using my X-Cut punch. That's a large corner punch. So the box is ready to decorate. The papers I used were the Holly Jolly My Mind's Eye Christmas papers. They're 12 by 12, come in a pack with a sheet of embellishments. I'm not sure if you can see, that's a bit large on the camera. But you can make this album just as easily using any 6 by 6 papers. This is the basic grey wassail paper pad. So any 6 by 6 paper will fit nicely onto the size of the box. I did use a magnet on this just to keep the front closed, so let me just put that on before we start, and then it's secured. So I'll put the magnet onto the top cover of the front bottom flap and the inside cover of the top flap, and then the two together will stick. So let me just stick that on while I'm talking to you. These, let's take both the sticky bits off. Attach the two magnets together. Take the little sticky covers off and then place it where you want it. So I'm going to put mine there. Fold the top flap over. Press down. Oh, it hasn't stuck. Let's do it again. And then, very carefully, prise them apart, and that puts them into place. You can see. And then the album's ready to cover. So to cover the front, I cut a piece of 6 by 4.5 inch paper. This is the old St. Nick paper. Rounded the corners on the bottom two corners, and I'm going to stick that on there. And then I cut another piece of paper from the Jingle Bell sheet, and this was 6 by 3.5 in the spots. Again, I've cut the bottom corners, just rounded those off, and that's going to stick on there. Actually, that goes that way around. And that's the start of the cover. So let me do that and I'll be back in a minute. So there we are. Papers are stuck down. I think the edges, as I always do with vintage photo, just to give them a oldie-worldy look, and also to hide the white edges where the paper's been cut. So that's the front cover done. And then to cover the inside top flap, I've cut another piece of the Jingle Bells paper in the spots again, and that is 6 by 3.5 inches. And that one's going to go up there. And then I've made a pocket out of a piece of 6 by 1.25 paper, and that's the old St. Nick paper. That's going to sit over there like that. Now this one I'm going to stick on with my glue gun. This one I'm going to put some really thin, this is 3mm double-sided tape, just around the bottom and the two sides, and then that's going to form the pocket. and this tape's more sticky than the glue gun tape, so much better for pockets, keeping pockets secure. So let me just do that, and then we'll carry on. So I'm going to ink the edges, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay ladies, here's that pocket all stuck down, and we'll come back and make the tags once we've covered all the pages with the paper that we're going to use. Now we're going to cover the bottom flap. Let me just show you. Bottom flap inside, and for this you need a piece of paper. If you're using the collection, it's the reindeer fly paper, 6 inches wide by 3.5 inches deep, and then we're going to use one of the embellishments as a pocket there, and that's off the embellishment sheet. So what I've done is inked around the edges, stuck this paper down with my glue gun, and then just put some 3mm tape around the 2 outside edges of the tag and stuck that down. So if you want to get on with that, I'll start preparing for the next page, and we're going to cover this one, which is the first of the side openings. Okay ladies, this is what we're going to make now. It's the side flap that folds out. So let me just take you through what you'll need to make it. It's a flap that lifts up, there's a tag inside that just slots in down there, like that. So let's put that one over there. I've used the, let's turn it round so you can see it, the green paper. Let me just check on the back and tell you what it is. It's a 6x5 piece of holiday plaid that's going to fit over our page here. And then I've also cut a flap out of the same paper, which is 6.5 by 3 inches wide, and then I've scored it at 1 inch and rounded the top corners, and that is going to stick under there like that and lift up. And then I've cut a semicircle out to hold the photo mat or the tag at the bottom there, and a button out of the Tim Holtz sewing room die. You could use any button, and that's just to hold the tag down. So let's put it all together. I'm just going to turn this book over so that we can work on the flat paper here. So the first thing you need to do is to stick your flap under the larger sheet of paper. So I'm going to put some tape on here and then stick it down. So I'm just going to use the glue gun across there. Ooh. Okay. And then position the lift up flap in the centre and fold down. And then that gives you the lift up flap there. And then I'm going to ink the edges around the bottom paper that we're going to stick down. So let me just do that. This is vintage photo ink. It just takes away that white edge of the paper. Just move that over there. Right, now I'm going to put, you can see where I've written what it was. I'm just going to put some tape around this. Very sticky. It's lost its squeak though. Don't speak too soon. Okay. Turn it over and position it on the page and stick it down. I'm not sure if you can see that. So there it is. I'd actually written the dimensions on this piece here, so I've put a photo mat on there, but that's the lift up part. Then I took one of the embellishments, and that just fitted nicely over the top of that flap. Again, I've inked the edges, so let's stick that on now. Let me just go over here and put some blue tape on. Okay, here it is. So let's stick that down. Now to hold that flap down, I cut the little button out of the sewing room die. You could use any button or any embellishment. Threaded a little bit of ribbon through. I've put some cinnamon stickles on it. I don't know if you can see it twinkling. And then a bit of double-sided tape. This was the 1mm foam tape on the back, and I'm just going to stick that over the corner of here, just to catch this flap and hold it down, and as a bit of a decoration, so it just neatly fits under there. And then the last thing I'm going to add is the semicircle at the bottom. Use these a lot, and that's just my 2-inch punch. I've just cut out a semicircle. I've put some of the 1mm foam tape on the back, and I'm just going to put that, it's not going to pull off, take the backing off, and I'm just going to stick that right down at the bottom, in the centre, and then that's going to hold the tag in place as well when we get round to making that. So there you are, ladies, that's that page finished. So let's turn it over again, and let's have a look at where we've got to so far. So 1, 2, and then the middle one. So the next page we're going to cover is the inside of the one we've just done. So let me take you through what we need for that.